Avalonia, a land surrounded by endless mountains, was home to a struggling civilization that faced challenges in meeting their needs due to limited resources. Numerous attempts were made to conquer the treacherous mounds, but no one ever returned alive. It was then that the greatest explorer, Clade, decided to take on the challenge. Fearless and renowned for conquering impossible missions, Jaeger was accompanied by his brave son, Clade, who had trained for years to follow in his father's footsteps. Together with their crew, the Clades embarked on a journey to the other side of the massive mountains. During their expedition, while quietly passing through an ice cave, Searcher noticed a peculiar glowing plant. Upon touching it, the plant emitted a powerful electric charge, causing Searcher to scream and dislodge icicles. Fortunately, his father came to his rescue. Searcher suggested that they halt their mission and bring the miraculous plant back to their hometown, as it had the potential to serve as an energy source for vehicles and factories. Jaeger, who had eagerly awaited the opportunity to see what lay beyond the mountains, was unwilling to turn back. He argued with his son, but was unable to convince him otherwise. Even the crew sided with Searcher. Consequently, Jaeger made the decision to continue the mission alone. It has been 25 years since then. The plant brought by Searcher, named Pando, has become the energy source for Avalonia, and Searcher now lives his dream as a Pando farmer alongside his loving wife, Meridian, and their teenage son, Ethan. Searcher imparts his farming knowledge to Ethan, grooming him to take over the family business. However, Ethan's aspirations differ from his father's. Rather than being enthralled by farming, Ethan enjoys exploring and spending time with his friends. His closest friend, Yazoo, believes Ethan has the spirit of an explorer, akin to his grandfather. Although he obeys his father and assists in delivering pandos around town, Ethan's true desires lie elsewhere. He often admires the statues erected in honor of his grandfather and father and yearns to know more about his grandfather. Yet, Searcher rarely speaks about him, believing Jaeger was an inadequate father who prioritized conquering mountains over family. One fateful night, while enjoying a joyous time together and cooking a delicious meal, their lives take an unexpected turn. A massive aircraft lands on their farm, and Mayor Callisto Mouse steps out. As a member of Jaeger's crew, she delivers distressing news. The pandos are losing their power rapidly, depleting at an alarming rate during winter. Something seems to be infecting the crops, and they must identify the cause before it spreads throughout all the pando fields. Mayor Callisto urges Searcher to join her on this crucial mission, given that he was the one who brought Pando and changed the town's fate. Ethan also expresses his desire to be part of the adventure. However, Searcher is reluctant to let history repeat itself, and he cannot risk the safety of his loved ones by taking them into the perilous mountains. Disheartened, Ethan locks himself in his room. Meanwhile, Searcher prepares for the journey. He retrieves his old adventure backpack and the beloved compass left behind by his father from the storeroom. He then boards the spacecraft and joins the crew, meeting Mayor Callisto. She explains that all the pandos are connected to a single source through their roots. By delving deep underground and locating the source, they can remedy the disease and revive the crops. The researchers have already identified the hidden source. As the spacecraft descends, Searcher hears Meridian's voice. She has returned to retrieve Ethan, who secretly joined the mission. Out of nowhere, a swarm of peculiar creatures emerges and launches an attack on the spacecraft, injuring the pilot. In a moment of quick thinking, Meridian takes charge, using her expertise to guide the spacecraft and prevent a collision with the rocks. Unexpectedly, they find themselves transported to a strange world hidden deep beneath the ground. Searcher and his dog accidentally fall off the spacecraft, while the rest of the crew lands in a different location. As Searcher rises from the fluffy pink ground, he is astounded by the bizarre animals and plants surrounding him. Suddenly, a slimy creature snatches his handkerchief and scurries away. Determined to retrieve his belongings, Searcher follows the creature, unaware that it has led him into the territory of even larger monsters. Fleeing for his life, he encounters another peculiar being who intervenes and fends off the menacing creature. The mysterious figure removes his cloak, revealing himself to be none other than Searcher's father, Clade. Overjoyed, Searcher quickly recognizes him and reminisces about their shared adventures from the past. Eager to explore further, Jaeger hurries to find the spacecraft. Meanwhile, Callisto and the remaining crew members work on repairing the damaged plane. They understand the importance of sticking together for their safety. However, Ethan, disagreeing with this approach, sneaks away on a hoverbike in search of his father. As he reaches the edge of a precipice, he halts, contemplating how to descend to the other side. Unbeknownst to him, the ground beneath his feet is alive and begins to tremble. Ethan loses his footing and tumbles off the cliff, finding himself in a precarious situation. Struggling to climb the slippery rocks, he realizes that his only option is to enter a nearby cave. Initially filled with fear, Ethan gathers his courage, reminding himself of the spirit of exploration that runs through his veins. He ventures into the cave, and all seems well until he encounters the slimy creature clinging to his backpack. Startled, he yells in fright and hurls the creature against the wall. Regaining his composure, Ethan apologizes to the slime for his earlier behavior, attempting to befriend it and giving it the name Splat. To his surprise, Splat retrieves the handkerchief that was stolen from Searcher. Recognizing it, Ethan implores Splat to guide him to his father. Meanwhile, Searcher has already embarked on his journey back to the plane with his father. 25 years ago, Jaeger realized that directly crossing the mountains was impossible. Instead, he discovered this hidden underground realm and decided to traverse the mountains by traveling through it. Along the way, he encountered and battled various monsters until he reached the scorching sea, whose water can strip flesh from bones. Since then, Jaeger has been tirelessly seeking a way to overcome this obstacle. Now, he believes that utilizing the crew's aircraft to fly over the burning sea is the solution. Hearing his father's intentions, Searcher becomes disheartened. After all these years, Jaeger still solely focuses on conquering the mountains and seems unaffected by the fact that his family has been living under the assumption of his demise. Jaeger's wife has moved on and married another man, and there's a statue honoring Jaeger in the center of town. Unfortunately, Jaeger hasn't had the chance to see it. Nothing seems to be enough for him. Despite discovering another miraculous world, Jaeger continues to put everyone's lives at risk. As they slide down the mountains, they find Ethan's game card, which alerts Jaeger to the danger Ethan might be in. He predicts that Ethan could be eaten by the monstrous Reapers, and his prediction comes true when Splat misleads Ethan and takes him to the Reaper's nest. In the nest, Ethan finds a collection of pando seeds and begins gathering them. Splat also holds a seed and accidentally burns himself, causing him to cry out in pain. Ethan shows compassion and tends to Splat's wound, which changes Splat's view of Ethan. Splat no longer wishes to harm the kind-hearted human. Unfortunately, it's too late, as the Reapers awaken and attack from all sides. Jaeger arrives just in time to save his grandson, burning down the Reapers and leading them to safety. They reach a cliff and jump off, landing amidst a swarm of pink jellyfish, which they use as a makeshift escape route from the Reapers. Ethan is deeply impressed by his grandfather's bravery and sees him as the role model he always idealized. However, Ethan slips and falls, but Splat manages to catch him in the nick of time. In contrast, Searcher still regrets being Jaeger's son and being involved in such a dangerous situation. More challenges lie ahead as Jaeger's gun runs out of fuel and the Reapers close in on them. Just as they are about to be eaten, Meridian and Callisto arrive like guardian angels, bringing hover bikes for everyone to ride on. They rush forward, but another group of monsters approaches from the opposite side. Splat suggests using the pandos, which deliver a strong electric shock to the Reapers, buying enough time for the crew to escape safely. They reach the aircraft once again, but as soon as they land, Jaeger and Searcher begin arguing about the next course of action. Callisto intervenes, calming them down and proposing a compromise. Their priority is to save the pando, so they will continue their search for its heart. Afterwards, they can always continue their adventure of conquering the mountains. The mission carries on as the crew follows the routes of the pando and examines the collected samples. The solution has yet to be found, but Searcher is more concerned about the influence Jaeger has on young Ethan. They are spending more time together, and Jaeger even asks if Ethan has a lover yet, causing Ethan to blush. Jaeger suggests risky ways to impress his crush, including conquering impossible adventures. He even offers Ethan his fire gun and teaches him how to use it. Searcher strongly disagrees with this approach. He doesn't want his son to become a careless explorer. He believes Ethan should follow in his footsteps and become a farmer. This triggers another argument between the Clades, causing a rift between them. Ethan suggests playing a card game as a means to improve communication, but Searcher and Jaeger continue to clash with opposing viewpoints. Ethan becomes frustrated and gives up, feeling that the generation gap is preventing the Clades from coming together. However, the journey continues. After hours of following the pando's routes, the crew finally arrives at the burning sea. Meridian is hesitant to fly over the boiling acid, and they contemplate giving up. But Splat has a plan. It communicates with the green slimes that fly around the sea and requests their assistance. The slimes lift the aircraft and glide it around, guiding it to the right, then to the left, and then to the right again. With a complete 360-degree turn, they are able to reach the other shore. The difficulty doesn't end there. A group of Reapers attacks the crew once again. The crew grabs their weapons and prepares to fight. Jaeger's fire gun proves to be effective, but he only has one. However, Searcher has another weapon, the pando seeds. They start throwing the seeds at the Reapers, but Searcher's aim is not as good as his father's. Searcher starts to feel discouraged, but Jaeger, being a good father, approaches him and helps him improve his throwing. The father and son duo join forces and successfully fend off the Reapers. After reaching a safe spot, Searcher and Jaeger sit down to have a peaceful conversation. They open up their hearts and share the reasons behind their goals. Searcher wants to be a farmer because he finds joy in nurturing the soil and feels a sense of peace while working on the farm. On the other hand, Jaeger has risked his life as an explorer, sacrificing his family along the way. There's no turning back for him now. Ethan and Meridian witness this moment of reconciliation between Searcher and Jaeger. Meridian wonders whose footsteps Ethan will choose to follow. She believes that he shouldn't suppress his emotions and should pursue his dreams, finding true happiness in becoming what he truly desires. As they continue following the Pandos' roots, they discover that the Pandos are getting stronger as they go deeper. A strange mystery awaits them. Suddenly, a group of Reapers follows them again, but this time they are not attacking the crew. Instead, they are attacking the heart of the Pandos. It appears that the Reapers are risking their lives to fight against the Pandos. Searcher believes that the Pandos are using all their energy to defend themselves, causing them to weaken. Searcher grinds a bunch of Pando seeds into a fine powder, which can be used as a spray similar to pesticides used by farmers. The crew follows Searcher's lead, and he even prepares a spray gun for his son, Ethan. However, Ethan refuses to participate. He doesn't want to kill or rescue crops. He doesn't want to be a farmer like his dad. Searcher becomes angry and blames Jaeger for influencing Ethan to reject the farming life and become a selfish explorer. The argument heats up, and Ethan jumps off the ship. Searcher follows him and pulls him onto the hoverbike to talk. He realizes that he has become like his dad, trying to control his child and suppress his dreams. He just wanted to create a legacy for his son to be proud of, but he understands that children have their own dreams. Before Ethan can reply, he witnesses something unbelievable. They have crossed the mountains. What's even more shocking is that the mountains were actually a living creature all along. Avalonia was on its back. Pando is not an energy source but an infection that the Reapers were trying to fight. Searcher and Ethan rush back inside the creature and stop their crew from attacking the Reapers. However, Jaeger doesn't believe them and insists on seeing it for himself. Searcher has let go of his legacy for the sake of his son, but Jaeger cannot do the same. Sergio returns the compass to Jaeger and says his final goodbye. Jaeger boards the ship, but a problem arises when Callisto believes that Searcher has lost his sanity. They lock up Searcher and his family, but their dog quickly comes to their rescue. They head to the cockpit, where Meridian takes control. Searcher devises a plan to dig a hole into the heart of the creature so that the Reapers can heal it from the inside. While he works on the plan, Ethan rushes to gather the Reapers. He realizes that he doesn't have to be a farmer to make his father proud. Being a good son is enough. Meanwhile, Jaeger is just a step away from achieving his lifelong dream, but he remembers the love he had with his family. Searcher's spade breaks, but Jaeger returns to him with another one. They dig together and create a hole for the Reapers. The Pandos start to wither and disappear completely. It seems like they may have arrived too late. Ethan feels sorry for the poor creatures. However, healing cells arrive and spread around, reviving the heart. It's singing once again. The mission is complete, and it's time to return home. But Searcher wants to make another stop for the sake of his father. They fly to explore the other side of the mountains. This is the moment Jaeger has dreamed of for years, and now it feels even more special because his beloved son is beside him. A year passes by quickly. Searcher continues to be a farmer, but he allows his son to explore the world and follow his dreams. Being a good parent is not about forcing your child to become what you like. It's about supporting your child as they pursue their own dreams.